This time a couple of words about the censorship on YouTube. I have been on YouTube for a decade now. I run a couple of channels and was uploading both entertainment videos and educational clips. So, and until now I didn't have really any major problems, although I have uploaded over 6,000 films altogether when we put the contents of those channels together. And I remember some problematic issue with one film many years ago, about one film about Islam. It was called, I think, the Birth Islamic way or something like that. I don't really remember the content of it, and I guess it could be considered somewhat controversial, so I wasn't really very much surprised that it was problematic content. Then just a year ago I had a problem with one clip that was purely made in theatrical way. It was, of course, it was poking fun of Nazi propaganda of World War II, but it was, it was, I think, considered as something like spreading the propaganda. So it was a unfortunate misunderstanding. If I really support any ideology, it's liberalism, I think, the freedom of speech and things like that. So I keep my channels diverse and rather both those educational films and films that I do for entertainment reasons are, I think, ideologically diverse and not really controversial. And when we consider that I have uploaded over 6,000 films, I think, together in those years, in a decade, in the time of 1 decade, I think problems with free films, because I will mention the third problem in a couple of seconds, it's not so bad, right? But recently I got a warning and then a strike one. And there's of course the strike 1 to 3 policy on YouTube, and it was a little bit shocking in contrast to the other two, that it was well, the first one was a little bit controversial, I grant, the YouTubers and the YouTube managers, and the other was a misunderstanding, clearly, but I understand it, how the misunderstanding could appear. So, but the recent one, it was just, I think the problem was now had two reasons. One was the ignorance of the YouTube managers, and the other was the growing temperature of the left-right conflicts worldwide recently. I think it's because the left is feeling that it's losing control over politics and the main bulk of media, both internet and in traditional media. Over radio lost many years ago, especially in America, but it's losing ground in the internet. So it's everywhere when the left has the predominant power, like in all those California-based internet big companies like YouTube, and which is owned by Google. So I mean Google, Facebook, the same, and so on. Even Zuckerberg of Facebook have recently, during the hearings in the U.S. Senate, I think it was U.S. Senate, not the Chamber of Representatives, he mentioned that yes, Facebook is a little bit left-leaning because my managers are, the administrators are on Facebook are left-leaning predominantly because they are Californians. Yeah, maybe. So and so the problem was about the song of from World War II times, the German song Rosemarie, which is by no means whatsoever a propaganda thing. It was a normal song that it was about how fun it is to be a soldier. Maybe it's a controversial issue, but it's no propaganda thing. And it was